Hi there. In this lecture, we are going to be covering string methods. String methods help you to work with strings. Usually in languages, primitive values like John Doe or string cannot have properties or methods because they are not objects. However, in JavaScript, methods and properties are also available to primitive values because JavaScript treats primitive values as objects when executing methods and properties. The one good example that we already have seen is the length. Let's put it to test again. Let's do a console.log text.length and let's see what we have. So let's close this output, let's open the console and let's run. The answer is 18. Simple, right? So this tells me if the length is 18 or no. And usually what happens is when you want to compare certain things and you want to make sure that the input that was entered or a validation that you need to have on a form saying that you cannot exceed a particular length. Let's say your first name field in your form can only be 30 characters wide. And the moment the user enters 31st character, based on this length, you can determine that it's 31 and throw a validation saying you cannot enter more than 30. So those are the instances where you can have length in use. Now what if I need to find a string inside a string? Let's say I need to find the word me inside this string. So what will I do? So there is a method called as index_of. What it does is, and let's see how we can use it. Console.log me word is at position. Me word is at position. Now let's get the position of that me word. And how do we do that? So we use the text and we say index_of and we give the word me. There's an error because I forgot to add a bracket. Let's do that and let's run again. Okay. Me word is at position 5. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that was finding a word or a string inside a string. We can also use another method which is called lastIndexOf method that returns the index of the last occurrence of a specified text. So let's say find me. Me can also be here, for example. Now in this scenario, let's try to use the last index and see what happens. Me word last index of. Let's do last index of. Let's clear the console and run again. So you can see that the me word is now saying that the position is 20, whereas index of says that it's at position 5. The last index and index of are similar in a way. Let's say I want to call something as tree and tree. Now if this text is not existing in the console, it will give me a position of -1. What does that mean is that JavaScript could not find the word tree in the text provided. Now the moment I add a tree in the word, it will start displaying the position of that. We can also search for strings using another awesome method that JavaScript provides, and that's called search. So let's do a search and the results should be pretty much similar to index_of, and the answer is 5. However, you may say, what is the difference between search and index_of? Well, search has more power over searching things in a string, and we will see this in greater details when we're doing regular expressions. This was searching a particular word in a string. What if you need to extract or split or some kind of another property that you want to do on a string? The string is for your rescue. There are 3 different methods that you can use to do that. And what are those? So the first method that we have is called slice, and it takes 2 parameters. One is the start and the other is the end. Similarly, there is another method, it's called substring. And once again, there is a start and an end. There is another method, it's called substr. I know it means substring, but they've short-termed it. So it has a start, but instead of end, it has a length. Now that we know that string extractions can be done using these methods, let's try to see some examples. let's try to have a string where we have variable fruits is equals to apple, banana, and kiwi. Yeah, I like these fruits. So let's go with this. Now what happens is, let's do a console.log. Actually, let me just copy this. It's easier that way. Slice in action hyphen text slice. Now we need to give a starting position on this method. So let's say I want to start at the position 7th. Position 7th is here. So apple apple is 5, comma is 6, and the space is 7. So I need to start at space. Now I need the end, which is banana, which is 13. So if I just need banana, I can give 7, comma 13. Let's try and see what happens. Well, the reason is I use text versus fruits. Let's do fruits. You can see banana got outputted. Now what if I don't give this 13? What will happen if I don't give this n? What JavaScript will do is it will get you the rest of the string from that index. That is another feature. Let's say if you want to just trim the first part of a string, you can use this feature. When you need to split the first part of the string, you can use this. Similarly, what if you don't give anything? Let's try to see that as well. In that case, it will return the entire string at index 0. Let's see another awesome aspect of this, that is called a negative parameter. So what if I give a negative parameter to this particular string with negative param? Now, instead of 7 and 13, I can also fetch banana from the reverse. How does that work? So let's count the characters from the back. So in this case, let's count kiwi is 6 characters. And if I need banana, I need to start from 12th character. If you count 12 from here, it will be banana out here. So let's do the starting index as -12 and the ending index as -6. Let's clear the console and let's make sure we have everything in place, and let's run, and the answer is banana. If I need a kiwi, I can update this again and I don't need to give the index at all. And I can just do a -6. Kiwi, I can just give a -4. You see? So you can play around with slicing overall and see what you need depending on your need, and it will be very handy when you start writing big logic. Let's go on to another method, which is substring. Now substring is very similar to what we have in slice. The only difference is that it does not accept any negative characters or negative indexes. So this answer would be the same as what you see with substring. And the answer is banana. Substring doesn't allow negative indexes, so you should avoid using it. Now the other one that we come on to is substring, which is substr. Now what's the difference? Well, it is again similar to slice. The only difference is instead of end, you give the number of characters you want. So for instance, let's copy this once again. And let's do a substring and starting 7, and banana is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 characters long. So if I give a 6 here, it should get me banana. Banana. Let me change this to substring in action. Let me change this to substring in action so that we know what we are seeing. If the first parameter of a substring is negative, the position counts from the end of the string. The second parameter cannot be negative because it defines the length. And if you omit the second parameter, substring will slice out the rest of the string.